Weddings are supposed to be normal, right? A dress, a suit, a few tears, a big party, and somebody's uncle giving a speech that should have stayed in drafts. Then you look around the world and realize normal is just local tradition with good PR. Today we're counting down the top 10 weirdest wedding traditions around the world, from number 10 all the way to number 1. And fair warning, a couple of these sound like pranks, until you learn they've been around longer than most countries' constitutions. If you enjoy list-style documentaries like this, subscribe for more odd corners of culture, history, and human behavior. All right then, let's get into it. Number 10. The Swedish kissing game, Sweden. Picture a reception in full swing. Music's playing, drinks are flowing, and suddenly the groom steps out for a moment. That's when the guests see their opening. In some Swedish weddings, if the bride or groom leaves the room, guests line up to give a quick kiss to the person who stayed behind. Usually cheek kisses, sometimes a peck, always in good fun. It's basically a social reminder: don't wander off too long, or your spouse will become the most popular person in the building. The point is playful community spirit, not scandal. Still, if you're the kind of person who needs a breather at parties, Sweden is not your safe place. Number 9. Ribbon pull cake charm, Peru. This one looks innocent, like something you'd see at a baby shower, until you realize it's basically public fate casting. In many Peruvian weddings, the cake is decorated with ribbons tucked inside. Single guests each pull a ribbon, and one ribbon is attached to a ring or charm. Whoever pulls the winning ribbon is, traditionally, next to marry. It's like a lottery, but the prize is commitment. And of course, half the fun is watching people pretend they're not invested, while pulling the ribbon like it's the last lifeboat on the Titanic. Number 8. The Haldi turmeric paste ritual, India. Before the wedding ceremony, there's a tradition where family members apply turmeric paste to the bride and groom. It's called the Haldi ceremony, and it's meant to bring blessings, protection, and good fortune. It's also the closest thing many weddings have to a sanctioned food fight. The paste is bright yellow, it stains everything, and it turns the couple into two glowing human highlighters for the day. It's meant to cleanse, brighten the skin, and symbolize an auspicious start. And if you've ever tried to scrub turmeric out of anything, you know the marriage is starting with a real test of resilience. Number 7. Payback, the date and chestnut toss, Korea. After the main wedding ceremony, some Korean couples take part in a ritual called payback. Traditionally, a moment where the newlyweds formally greet the groom's family and receive blessings from elders. It often includes deep bows, traditional attire, and symbolic foods placed carefully on a table. And then comes the part that people remember. Elders toss dried dates and chestnuts toward the couple, and the couple tries to catch them, sometimes using a cloth. It looks for a moment like a dignified ceremony has been interrupted by an enthusiastic snack attack. But the symbolism is clear. Dates and chestnuts have long been associated with prosperity and hopes for a flourishing family line. Catching them becomes a playful measure of blessing, a little performance that says, "May your life together be abundant." Naturally, the crowd counts. Humans will count anything if you let them. What I love about payback is how it balances reverence with humor. It honors elders, it honors continuity, and then it lets everyone laugh as the couple scrambles to catch flying chestnuts with the seriousness of athletes in a championship final. It's a reminder that a marriage is not only romance, it's also family. And family, as we know, is never entirely calm. Number 6. Chinese door games and the gate crash. In many Chinese wedding celebrations, the groom doesn't simply arrive, knock politely, and collect the bride like a parcel. That would be far too easy. Instead, the bridesmaids guard the door. They set challenges, they demand proof, Sometimes they demand money in red envelopes, sometimes they demand all of the above. The tasks can range from silly to surprisingly difficult. Singing a love song on command, doing push-ups, answering rapid-fire questions about the bride, or completing a ridiculous dare designed to provoke laughter from the entire room. Think of it as a romantic obstacle course, overseen by the people least likely to show mercy. Underneath the comedy is a sincere idea. Devotion isn't only what you say in vows, it's what you do under pressure. Can you show up? Can you persevere? Can you smile while your future sister-in-law evaluates your stamina like a sports coach? It's also an elegant way to involve the bridal party, giving them an active role rather than relegating them to the background. They become guardians of the bride's dignity, in a playful sense, and the groom must demonstrate that he's worthy of entering. If you can survive the gate crash, you can survive a shared calendar. Number 5. Sawing a log together, Germany. Germany has a reputation for practicality, and sometimes that practicality becomes romance in the most literal way. One wedding tradition, known in some places as Baumstammsägen, involves the newlyweds sawing through a log together in front of their guests. Imagine it. You've just pledged your eternal love, and now you're handed a large saw like you've signed up for a weekend carpentry class. The symbolism is straightforward. You cannot saw a log alone with any efficiency. You must coordinate, match rhythm, apply steady effort, and avoid turning it into a tug of war. If you fight the tool, it bites back. Which is also true of marriages, mortgages, and assembling flat-pack furniture. Guests often cheer, offering advice that is almost certainly unhelpful. The couple sweats a bit. They adjust their grip. They learn in real time that teamwork is not a poetic concept. It is physical and occasionally awkward. And then, when the log finally gives way, the crowd erupts. A small victory earned together before the larger work of life begins. Also, it's very satisfying to watch. Humans love a clear finish line. Number 4. Polterabend, smashing porcelain for luck, Germany. Germany appears again, because why stop at one pre-wedding trial when you can have two? Polterabend is a tradition where guests smash porcelain the night before the wedding. Plates, cups, sometimes entire stacks of ceramic. The sound is loud, chaotic, and oddly cathartic. And then, crucially, the couple cleans it up together. The idea is often explained as shards bring luck, and the act of cleaning symbolizes cooperation. It's a small rehearsal for married life. The world breaks things, and you face the mess side by side. There's also something liberating about giving people permission to smash objects at a celebration. You can almost feel the communal stress leaving the body with every crack of porcelain. In many cultures, weddings carry pressure, expectations, family dynamics, financial strain. Polterabend lets all that energy explode harmlessly into ceramic fragments instead of simmering into awkward arguments. Of course, someone still has to sweep. But perhaps that's the genius. It's a ritual that says, joy is messy, we'll clean up together. And if that isn't marriage, I don't know what is. Number 3. Blackening the bride or groom, Scotland. Now we travel to Scotland, where the weather is unpredictable, the humour is sharp, and wedding help can look suspiciously like an ambush. In a tradition sometimes called blackening, friends may kidnap the bride, the groom, or both, then cover them in messy substances, soot, treacle, flour, feathers, food scraps, or whatever horrors the group can assemble with enthusiasm. And then, as if that's not enough, they parade the unfortunate couple around for the community to see. Cars honk, strangers laugh. The couple, coated in chaos, becomes a public spectacle. It sounds like hazing, and in a sense it is, but the tradition is often framed as a way to bring good luck and to prepare the couple for the humiliations and hardships of life. If you can endure this, you can endure anything, including, presumably, relatives giving unsolicited advice about how to load a dishwasher. There's also a deeper social function. It reminds everyone that marriage isn't only elegance and romance, it's endurance. It's the ability to laugh when you're not at your best. And it's the community's way of saying, we're with you, even when life gets messy. In Scotland, they simply make messy very literal. Number 2. Bride, kidnapping and ransom. Romania and parts of Eastern Europe. This one feels like a plot from a romantic comedy. That's because it essentially is, except the cast is your friends and the audience is everyone you've ever met. During the wedding celebration, the bride may be kidnapped by friends. She's whisked away to a nearby bar, a public square, or somewhere scenic for photographs. Sometimes there's a dramatic reveal. Sometimes it's simply a sudden absence that sends the room buzzing. Then the groom must negotiate her return. The ransom is usually playful. A round of drinks for the kidnappers, money, a performance, a public declaration of love, a silly task designed to make him sweat. I've always admired how quickly weddings can transform into interactive theatre. Symbolically, it can be interpreted in different ways depending on the region and the family. Sometimes it's about proving devotion. Sometimes it's about acknowledging that marriage involves effort and sacrifice. Sometimes it's just an excuse for laughter and a brief detour that keeps the energy high. And there's something quite tender in the idea that the groom must actively win his bride, not through force, but through willingness, generosity, and a sense of humour. If you can pay the ransom without sulking, you're probably ready for the compromises of married life. Number 1. Spitting as a blessing. Maasai communities in Kenya and Tanzania. All right, this is the one that tends to stop Western audiences in their tracks. It sounds shocking at first because it clashes so sharply with the norms many of us grew up with. In some Maasai traditions, spitting can be a sign of respect and a way of bestowing blessing. It may appear in greetings, in ceremonies, and yes, in wedding contexts, as a gesture meant to offer protection and good fortune. To an outsider, it can look like insult. Within the cultural framework, it is the opposite, an earnest wish that the marriage be shielded from harm and misfortune. This is where weird becomes the most revealing word of all. The same action can carry completely different meaning depending on the story a culture tells about it. It reminds me of my early years in India when I was a young journalist and constantly misreading gestures until someone kindly explained them. I learned again and again that you can't interpret the world accurately if you insist it must behave like your hometown. The real lesson of this tradition is humility. We're all standing at the edge of someone else's meaning, trying to understand it. And when you do understand it, you realize something beautiful. Across cultures, the intention is often the same. Protect the couple. Bless their future. Bind the community to their promise. And there we have it. 10 wedding traditions that prove humans are endlessly inventive when it comes to celebrating love. Some of them test your stamina. Some of them test your sense of humor. One or two might test your ability to get turmeric out of fabric. But beneath the oddness, the purpose is familiar. To turn a private promise into a public bond. To ask the community for support, and to start a new life with a little ritualized luck. If you want a part 2, tell me in the comments which tradition surprised you most and which one you'd actually tolerate at your own wedding. Tolerate is an entirely fair word here. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.